You know, abortion is going to end as soon as the people of God say that it's going to end. The power is and always has been in our hands to bring an end to this disaster. Because you can tell with mathematical certainty that the more people who come out onto public sidewalks just like this, in front of places like this, where the killing is taking place, the more lives will be saved. It is a certainty that you can count on. It is a certainty that you can measure. And it's a certainty that should inspire us to continue coming out. No matter what the other dynamics in the movement or in the nation might be, we always have the power to intervene to save these lives. We're in an incredibly important election season, and I want to give you a word of exhortation about that as well. But the bottom line is that, you know, when Clinton was in the White House, we at Preach for Life were going around the country saying, you know, the problem is not that Bill Clinton is sitting in the White House. The problem is we're sitting in our house. We've got to take it upon ourselves to intervene publicly to save the lives that have to be saved. And the same is true now. We pray and we work for the best possible outcome in next month's election. And at the same time, we realize that good or bad, the result is we still have the work to do. We still have the lives to save. We still have the communities to awaken and the consciences to stir up. And that's why when we come out on the streets like this, we always win. Always. Because either we end up actually saving lives and stopping abortions, or at the very least, we have troubled the consciences of those who make these places operate. One of the reasons why going out onto the streets is so critically important is taught to us by the abortion providers themselves, and especially those who used to work in the abortion industry and have come out. And as you know, there have been many such converts. I remember one of them telling me years ago, she was the administrator of 6 different abortion facilities. And she said, Father Frank, when there are pro-lifers praying outside of our facilities, we know that it's going to be a bad day for business. And then she said, and when there are pastors standing out with them, we know it's going to be a very bad day. They know it because it pricks the consciences, it stirs up the spirits of not only those who are working in these places, but also, of course, the moms and the dads going in there to have their children killed. Our presence here is of an importance and a value that cannot be exaggerated. And so many people that we work with throughout the movement in post-abortion healing, say that they prayed on the morning of their abortion, Lord, if you don't want me to do this, send somebody to tell me to stop. And sometimes we're here and we can count the saves. But brothers and sisters, I assure you today that the number of saves that we cannot possibly count is higher than we imagine. Why? Because we don't see them stop, go in, and then turn around and come back out and say that they're going to keep their babies. And the reason we don't see them is that when they see us here, they don't even stop. How many people, and who can count it but God himself, have there been that have had appointments at places like these, and as they approached and they saw the crowd there, and they saw the signs, and they saw the rosary beads, and they saw the crosses, and they saw the people of life standing here intervening for them and for their children, said, I'm not even going to deal with that. I'm turning around, I'm going back home. And people who think that these women who come for these appointments are ready to crawl over broken glass and walk through fire to get their abortion no matter what, are just disconnected from the reality, because the reality is they're ambivalent. I know people who have turned away from having abortions literally because they got lost on their way to the abortion mill. And so they figure that because they made a few wrong turns, that was the sign from God that they should keep their babies. This is not a matter of confronting people who are dead set in their determination to have an abortion. This is a matter of reaching out with the hands of hope and compassion and strength to those who really still don't know what to do, even though they do have their appointment. They don't know what to do in their hearts. They know it's wrong. They need the presence of the people of God to give them the strength to do what they know is right. And that's why it's so ironic. It's a cruel irony that the other side continues to use the phrase freedom of choice. Ask the women if they're coming here, if they're exercising freedom of choice, or rather if the reality isn't really that they feel they have no freedom and no choice. And we're here to give them a choice.